The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of Para X, its affiliates, or its sponsors.
It's coming.
All these voices. All these voices.
They're not yours. You had no right to them when you were alive, and you have no right to them when you're dead.
That's what it sounded like.
Good, you know who I am. And then you know I'm not playing. You're going to let those women go. In Jesus' name, you're going to let those women go.
Is there a demon here watching us right now? Or just watching us right now?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Staring into the Abyss. I am your host, horror author James Hershey Jr., and with me, as always, my co-host, old boy James Ash. How you doing, brother?
Good evening, Misfits, Sugar Ladies, Monster Lovers. How's your fucking night, Misfits?
This is usually the part where I tell you we've got an interesting show for you tonight, etc., etc. But I really don't know what we're talking about. This is old boy's pick again this week, and all I know is that he was a bit fired up earlier. So I'm sure that whatever he has to say tonight is going to be a doozy. I'll be back after he's done to give my take on whatever it is that we're talking about. And we'll see what happens. These shows are fun for me, I think, because like on my week, I kind of know what's coming. So I'm prepared and I'm researched and I'm ready to roll. On Old Boy's pick, usually, every once in a while I'll know if it's going to be something that I need to know because it's going to be controversial or something. But usually I don't know what's coming until he decides what he wants to do. So a lot of times I'm kind of going in blind, and that's kind of cool. I like it that way. So I can kind of give it a listen and figure out what he's talking about. I know we had several ideas thrown around, so we'll see what happens. So without further ado, old boy, go ahead, brother.
So I'm going to talk about a couple things on this show. And I'll get into the main thing. It's not really the main thing, but something I want to talk about. And I'll do this later on, maybe 10, 15 minutes down the line. So you know, James Hershey is a famous horror author. He wrote the Legion series, the I Am Legion series. Not I Am Legend, I Am Legion. He's got 3 books of that series, and then he has the Wisp. That's another book, but it's not a part of that story. And he also wrote a couple other books, but those are more religious, just like mine. I have 2 books out. I have one, it's religious, called God's Will, and the other one, it's Demon Wars Volume 1, and we're working on Part 2 soon. But we have them back in certain countries. You can buy those books right now. Amazon won't carry them because they're very controversial, and that might end up leading to lawsuits. That has nothing to do with James, it's me. But we are making Part 2, and it's going to be even worse. But it's non-fiction. It's not fiction. So I mean, it's like I said. I think I know who did it. Is like I said, there was this lady who did not like me because of my beliefs, and because she tried to ruin me, and it didn't work. So she probably did that, and I have a belief she's the one that did that because they told us, and they can't do that because it's freedom of speech. And it's just it's story. It isn't real. It isn't a religion. It had nothing to do. It was actually a book, but it was a very controversial book. James, you know, he had his opinions on it, but hey, you know what? He still supported me, as controversial as I am, because I am very controversial. James, very fucking controversial. So. And that causes some issues sometimes. We've had a couple issues with that, and I'll get into that in a little bit because of our show. There is talk right now of us being on a TV show. That's all I'm going to say. And it's back east and over here. There's people who do produce a lot of big shows and reality shows. And they know who we are. Because we do the East Coast, West Coast. I'm a Satanist. James is a Christian. Satanist, pagan, whatever you guys want to think. And James is a Christian. And no one does that. And there's some people doing now what we're doing with one group here and there. But we've been doing it for 9 years now. You know, we've been doing it for a while. I think we're one of the first to do that. And even actually have, there's people who've always had different shows with different people. I'm just saying we doing the ghost thing, different states, different places. But, and we have a pretty good following, guys. We got a cult following, a big one. They know who we are. A lot of the big names know exactly who we are. The ghost hunters know who we are. Big names like that. I'm not going to say anybody else. There's other people who know us. Majority of everybody in the industry knows who we are. And James, And we're very controversial. And we do a lot of stuff that most people won't do. I'm working on cases now that it's been almost a year. I've been working on them for 9, because there's this stuff that we're doing. You know what's cool? And I just realized this, guys. If you look at my beard, it looks like a face. Let me close my lips. I have like an outline of Bigfoot or like Chewy. If James, if you see this, look, I'll stop for a minute. Look, there's the arms, the legs, the body, and the nose. Looks like Bigfoot walking because of the way my beard is, and it's blonde and dirty blonde, and it has like the white and gray in it. So I just realized that's gonna be funny. When he sees this, he's gonna laugh his ass off, because it does. It looks like I have somebody walking on my face. Do the stuff that most people won't do. Like, I'll go to Skinwalker's Ranch. So will James. We will have no issues about it. And people, oh yeah, you're just saying no. We really will. Trust me. Go on an investigation with me. I go by myself. I don't give a damn. So will James. Amityville, me and James want to do it. We want to prove a point. We're not going to lie to you guys. And that's the problem. We're not liars. And I'm not saying anybody's lying. I know you have to do certain things for TV, and you got to get an audience, and you got to make things look, because if you just watch people really do this would be very boring. You have to make it exciting, but we're not like that. I'm not trying to get people to just watch me because I'm a ghost hunter. I'm an investigator. There's a difference. I'm trying to help people. Yes, I do ghost hunting. Don't get me wrong. I like doing it, but I'm more of an investigator. I like to help people, and I've been doing a lot of cases. Because that's what I think that's where I'm good at. I like doing ghost hunting, but I'm going to be honest, it bores me. Andy's more into that. Like, he does investigates, but he likes doing ghost hunting. I like to do that, Andy Andrews. He's on Ghost City Tours out there in Virginia and Pennsylvania. By his Gettysburg, if you guys want to check him out. Really good guy. He's like a brother. Just like James is my brother. We might not have the same family, but he's my brother. My older brother, I love, even though that I may be a difference in him, but I'm a crazy bastard, guys. So, James is just, he's a big dude. Wouldn't want to mess with him. He's a stubborn bastard. Old bastard. Just like me. I'm a little younger than him, but we're getting old, man. But, we like doing this, and this is what if we had a show, this is what the show was going to be about. If we did a show, what would we be doing? And our radio, we already know what we're doing on on Parax Radio. So, in the podcast, we talk about paranormal, conspiracies, history, religious, aliens, crypto, everything, paranormal, legends, all kinds of cool stuff, guys. And that's why you guys got a following. Like I said, me and James always listened to Coast to Coast, Art Bell, George Norrie. That's what got me into this 20 years ago when I was listening to him, when I was young. I was listening to that stuff, man. I loved it. I can't get enough. Longer than that, it was like 25 years ago for me with Art Bell. Norrie would always come on, but after he took over, he was all right. And I liked Ian. I think he passed away just recently. I used to listen to Ian. I think he did the weekends, and there was another guy I listened to, and he was cool. But I used to like that show, and I still listen to it once in a while. It isn't what it used to be. Art Bell had a way of him, and if you ever listen to Art Bell, he had a voice, and I loved his voice. It's just like he had a certain voice, like James Hershey. He had a voice that it romances you to sleep, and you want to keep hearing it. And Art Bell just had a different voice. His attitude was great. People back then laughed at him, and he's like the godfather of this, man. He helped do this stuff, man. And like, I know Spock did. Leonard Nimoy was on the Aliens and stuff like that, but he actually did the show. Art Bell, I think he started in the 80s, maybe even longer, 70s. I don't know. I don't know the whole time. I know I started listening to him at the end of 90s or early 2000s. I think it was early 2000s. And that's when I started listening to him, probably like maybe the end of 99, 2000, but around that area. And I know he was going on long before. I think when I was listening, it was like 15. So I think he started like in the 80s or the 70s. I forget. I have 79, 78. I forget. Maybe a little later. I might be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But that was my hero, guys. I love that guy, man. He was great. I used to listen to so many crazy shows. Exorcist, Father Malachi. He was a preacher that got kicked out of the sorry guys, Vatican and stuff, because he was telling people the truth. There's werewolves, vampires. He told the truth about it, and they didn't want him to tell anybody. He was telling them about exorcisms. I used to love listening to that show. It was great, guys. Remote viewing, that was another one where you can have a bunch of people think of it and it happens. I wasn't a big fan of that. I liked listening to the ghost stories, the monster stories. The remote viewing was all right, and stuff like that. And I actually enjoyed like the shadow people. That's where all that became big with him. He used to talk about the shadow people back in the late 90s, 2000s, and that's where I remember listening about the shadow people and hearing all these stories about shadow people and the man in a hat, stuff like that. It was paranormal stuff, and then Bigfoot, and I listened to stories of that, and Dogman a little bit. That got more popular now in the last 10 years. The Mothman, oh yeah, always listen to Mothman. The Greys, the Reptilians, that was always a big thing on his show. But I used to like that, and that's what we talk about. And James used to listen to Art Bell too. And I always enjoyed his show, and I like how he talks, and James really liked him too. And that's why we kind of, when we started doing this with Revolution Radio, it was like this, but it was different. And now we kind of bringing that back with me and James. And Eric was one of the starters of that, Eric Wickman. And unfortunately, things have happened in his life that, he just kind of couldn't do it anymore. And he walked away from it, and we still love him. He was the one that helped us get into this. I always want to give him credit with that. And love the guy to death. But we are going to do something, and if we do, it's going to be really extreme, guys. Like some of the stuff that we're going to do is going to, like, what the hell are you guys doing? Are you that crazy? Or are you really? I am, because I want to prove this stuff is real, but I don't want to hurt anybody. I want people who are getting entities attacking, shadow people, demons, whatever you want to call them. I want to try to help these people. I want to find out if Dogman exists, but I really want to find out. I want to see if it's just a myth, because that's what we want to do. We want to prove that some of this bullshit that's being speeched out here with these dolls and people saying they see all these things or haunted or creatures. That's kind of some of the reason we haven't been on TV, because we're not liars, and we're not going to kiss people's asses just to get on TV. I'm here to help people, not to lie to you. Yeah, it may be entertaining. I'm not going to lie. If we did, it's not going to be, 100% like, oh, right down to the point. No, there's going to be some, stuff they put in there, and that's just how it goes. That's TV. There's nothing to do about that. But I'm not going to lie to anybody. I'm not going to bullshit that I got attacked or say something taking over my body, and all of a sudden I attacked my cameraman, but I didn't, and I started throwing up, and I went into a room and almost felt like I was going to pass out. I'm not going to say any more. You know where I'm going with this, and you know who I'm probably talking about. But I'm not going to get into that. I don't hate anybody who does this stuff. That I understand. You made it big. It's fine. I have no hate. I'm not a hater. I don't hate. Money's got to be made somehow. It's just the point is, don't live your life on some of these shows. If you like them, that's one thing. But remember, there's TV shows. Most of them have some real to it, but there's a lot of bullshit in it. And we'll say that. Our show's not going to be like that. Just like it isn't on here. Now, we may be misinformed, and we'll admit that, hey, we were wrong. We're sorry. We will try to figure out the truth. No one's 100% accurate. No one's going to know everything. No one. That's how life is. It's never going to be 100%. People make mistakes, and we'll live up to it. Trust me, we've done it. If we've made a show that we found out evidence is not true, we'll come up and tell you, hey guys, we're sorry. We make a rebuttal. We just heard this evidence, and we're just talking about it. Now we know that it isn't true. We'll do that. We're not going to sit there and blame somebody else like a lot of people do. And it's our fault if we mess up. Me or James. One thing we will tell you is all our content will always be free. That what we do with the show will always be free as long as we're possibly can control that. Like right now, it's all ours. If somebody buys it, we're still going to make it somehow where whatever was made before and after stays free for you guys. I want you guys to enjoy our stuff. Even when we're gone, 1,000 years ago from now, you can watch this stuff. But we love doing this show for you, and we always will. If there's not just me and James, there'll be somebody else. Trust me. That being said, I hope we do get something, because I think we, in my groups, Vapor and Staring into the Abyss, Tells the Abyss, and the version of Shadow's Pit are one of the best groups in the world. And I think James has one of the best voices in the world. And I think I'm one of the best investigators, and I think Andy is one of the best investigators in the world. I don't care what anybody thinks. I know he has some haters out there. You know what? I know for a fact Andy's a good guy. We all have issues and we all say stuff, and I'm not going to sit here and say that he's innocent. No one's innocent. I wish everybody would try to get along, man. We're trying to help people, not destroy each other, and I just don't get it. I get it. You know what? If we got along better, I think things would be a lot different. But it's when money's involved and fame, and people act different. They'll make up things, they'll lie, they'll cause so much drama. I know that for firsthand, and I'm going to get into that in a couple minutes. And I'll tell you some stuff that's happened to James too, so that's what I'm saying. Our group has had issues with people in our group before, with other people. We say that the evidence isn't real, they'll flip out, they'll lie, start trouble. People who used to be in a group, they'll start trouble, and both sides of the states and the country have had issues with that. And it seems like some people, they get into this stuff where they're just thinking to be famous. They're not thinking about helping anybody. They want to become famous. And they don't care how they do it. They'll lie, tell stories, make up shit. And they're really not that good as they think they are. And that's why they keep getting shot down. And I'm saying that, I'm talking about in general with a lot of people. I know a lot of people do invest. They have a lot of people like this. They have people who they thought were their friends, and or camera people they got in, or investigators, and they start turning on each other, and well, I think I could do it, because they start talking, you know, the TV stuff comes up and they start trying to screw each other. And that's crazy to me. I don't get it. I never have. And it is what it is. You know, I can't judge anybody on that, and I'm not going to. But I know it happens to us a lot. We get a lot of hate from certain people. And it's not from the fans. To your opinions, we want to hear it. That's why we listen to most of this stuff. Like this show I wanted to do, because we do talk about, sometimes we'll throw it out there that things are happening there. There is a possibility. I'm not just saying that. Things change, though. The economy, not just that, what with COVID kind of screwed a couple things up for us, and now it's getting back to where it was. COVID screwed a lot of things up for a lot of people. That's just how it's been. So, that being said, if we do something, and I think we really will, it's going to be different than what you see on. You're not going to be used to what we're going to be doing. And I have an opinion that people are going to like it, but we're going to be very controversial on things. And I don't know the network's going to like it. They might go for it for now. That's why I kind of want to get on Netflix or something. Or like where I don't have to be censored. Or if I am censored, you'll know it just gets beeped out. But like Discovery and stuff where you can actually say what you want. I kind of want to be the first adult, not like swearing and cussing, just all out, 18 and over. We're not going to hide what we're going to say, kind of like we do with the show now. Kind of want to do that. Like we want, shoot for an older, crowd. I do and I don't, because I want kids to listen to us too. But if we beep it out, maybe have a version on regular TV and then have if it ever got on Discovery or something, or, and put it on there, you guys can hear it, or whatever channel does it. NBC does it too. They have their own thing, and Netflix. That would be kind of cool. Then I don't have to worry about that. And I'm more of an adult anyway. So our mouths are pretty, how we are. We don't hold back. And that's the kind of show I think we would have to do, because we do it on this. Because we were trying to do this, and we got a following, but fuck, man, we originally did this. We were being who we wanted to be when we were doing it on Mixler. And fuck, I'm not going to watch what I'm saying. I mean, I am not going to say stuff that will try to offend anybody, not to do that for purpose, but this is how we are. I can't keep quiet anymore and keep watching what I got to say, because I'm going to fucking say what I want. And James is going to do the same thing. No one's going to tell him anything. If he chooses to say what he is, now I don't have to worry about fuck. And I have to change it, say fuck, and shit. And say hits, change it. I say something different. I don't have to worry about that no more, and I'm not going to. But if we do a show, it isn't going to be bullshit. We're going to try to be as fucking honest as we can, as we can. What TV shows and does, that's a whole different story, and what we're going to be able to say. And like I said, if it goes too long, we wouldn't lie to you guys. We wouldn't even do it. We'll just keep doing what we're doing. I don't give a fuck how much money I'm not going to lie, dude. Neither's James. I don't lie to people, man. I mean, everybody's lied in their life. Don't trust me when we're kids and fibbed and stuff like that. But I don't want to lie to you guys about this, because I know there's a lot of liars out there and a lot of people who are misleading people. And they're not doing it for the right reasons. And I think that there should be people who are doing this for the right reasons. And I think that you guys would enjoy us, because we're got no filter. I'm not the best actor in the world, neither is James. We're just fucking, he's a mountain man and I'm a crazy desert rat, and a desert dweller. I don't want to call myself a rat. I'm no fucking rat. Never want to be anything with a rat. I'm a desert dweller, a nomad, a desert nomad. That's better. No rat. Fuck that. I'm a desert nomad. So, and I live my life like that, like a nomad. My wife does too. My wife does investigations with us in Spanish and English. What's crazy, she knows how to speak 3 different languages. She knows how to speak French. But I've never had her do that yet. French part. But she's done it in Spanish and English. It's pretty crazy. You guys, we have a couple of times she's done it like full Spanish. And she's into her lifestyle. She's a pagan witch. And that's what she's been for a long time. And that's how she is. I'm different. I know you guys see that. And I know there's people out there that think that I'm absolutely evil and I'm a fucking monster and I believe this and I believe that. And just so you guys know, I'm not into the Illuminati. Not my thing. I'm not into hurting kids. I'm not into hurting cats and dogs and animals. I don't believe that way. I believe an eye for an eye. I believe in certain rules, just like you guys have your certain beliefs. And that's all I'm going to say. That's all we need to say. That being said, I'm going to get into the second part of this. So, me and James have had issues in the past with people either attacking us, flipping out, complaining about James getting complained about being too offensive and political, and I get attacked for being the way my beliefs are. I had some lady try to set me up to try to make me look bad. James had somebody complain years ago about being offensive to women and certain politics I don't want to get involved in. And I've had people bitch to me, and same with him. This and that. And, whatever we're going to do, we're going to do. I don't give a fuck. But James is not a bad person. He has his own opinions just like I do. Don't try to start trouble. It's ridiculous. Now, another thing. James has had this issue because he is famous. And I'm getting there myself. You get stalkers and you get crazy fans. And he did. He had somebody show up to his house a long time ago. He's had people following around the mall, stuff like that. I've had recently, I'm not going to say anybody's name, a situation where I was friends with somebody, kind of. I didn't really know them. And because I didn't want to believe in what they wanted to believe in, they got mad and whatever, blocked me. I thought it was over. A couple months later, just recently, they hit me up and got very weird in a stalkish way, and I had to block them. And that is an issue I don't want to bring up, but it got really out there, and that's all I'm going to say. So you got to realize some people really do. I understand now why people in Hollywood, like Drew Barrymore, that guy still stalking her and showing up. That's the stuff that we deal with. We had one lady, it was on the show years ago, and I refused to do the show, and I'll tell you why. James still did it, but she lied. She fucking lied. The girl I was engaged with years ago told us she just made up a story about being... She totally changed the story she told me and went on the show and totally did another show. Like, said opposite what she told me and my fiance. And what her plan was trying to get famous. And then she tried to tell us that we need to get a woman on there instead of just having two men. And she started becoming ranting on about sexism and feminist stuff. And we're like, no, that's just not how our show is. And nothing personal to women. That's just, we have our show, the two people, we have it. She was trying to pull that card, and we weren't going to play with her. And she also lied. So I'm like, James, I'm not going to do the show. You can do it. She's lying. She changed the story on me 3 different times, saying she was an angel, then it was an elf, and then it was this. It was just bullshit, and I knew it was. And she told somebody she was lying, so I'm like, nope. So I didn't do the show, and I refused to do it. And that was 8 years ago, probably longer than that. Yeah, about 8 years ago. Yeah, 8 years ago, and that's stuff that we deal with. I don't get scared. I've had people threaten to kill me. I've had people shoot at me. In my life, I've done a lot of crazy shit. So has James. So that shit don't scare me. I just laugh about it. But I have a wife and I have family. I don't want anything happen to them because of me. And that's where I cut the line. Just like James, he has family and kids and a wife and his family too. Granddaughter. I have kids. And maybe one day have a grandkid, we'll see. But that's stuff that we have to deal with. And sometimes I have to realize it's not just about me or James the same way. We have to worry about the people we live with and around us and we care about. And that's something that I take very serious. You guys like us, that's cool. But either or of us, we're not your soulmates. Just because you think you lived in another lifetime and or James was your lover or whatever, we're not. We're married to who we're married to, and we're very happy, both of us. James and his wife, and me and my wife. I'm not your soulmate. Neither is James. I'm just showing you example. We're not we don't, just because you see me on the radio and James, that, or, on the podcast or on the investigations, that you had something with me years ago. And no, I'm happy with my wife. James is very happy with his wife. We're not looking for anybody. Me and my wife, we're different. That's a whole different thing. I'm not going to speak for James. We have an alternative relationship. We love each other, but we sometimes have a girlfriend. That's a whole different story. But when you're telling me that that we're soulmates and from another time, we're not. And the same with James. I'm just saying in general. If you think that, I'm talking about with any actor, anybody, I'm talking about just anybody in general, you get to that point, you probably need to seek help and talk to somebody, please. Or somebody doing that to you. Please do not let it go, because it could be dangerous. So that being said, that's why I wanted to talk about it. I was gonna do the show about this, but I figured I'll do the ending, the last couple minutes about it, and leave it at that. And that's all I want to hear and talk about after that. Don't want to, my little bearded guy But that's about as far as I'll say any more about it. I don't need to really speak about it, but I just wanted to let you guys know if you're getting to that point or having somebody do that, turn them in. Report it, make it known to everyone what's going on. Don't be scared. I've had my mom had issues in the past with people like that. I know people had. I had a friend to get killed because of somebody over that. Don't ever be scared to say anything, because if you don't, it could be your life, your family's life, your kids' life. They could flip out. There's stories that always happens. Just like a year ago, like a mile away from my house, this guy killed his girlfriend and their kids. It wasn't even his kids. It was his girlfriend's kids, because she didn't want to be with him. He pretended to be cool with them and killed them all and dropped them off in the desert. I think he killed himself. And it's because he couldn't get over it. There's people who just cannot get over certain things. And they think they're this and they think they're that, and they just don't think right, or they get so attached to somebody. And I'm just going to say, that's why I was going to do, if you're having these kind of issues or having somebody do that, please either get help, or if you're the person doing this, please realize it's not what you're supposed to be doing. Go get help before you do something stupid or go to jail. It's some people are just not meant to be. And if you can't, I understand love's very hard, and trust me, I understand that we all do stupid shit. But you have to realize this thing in general. And if you're such a fan where you think that you can't live without that person, or that we love you as fans, but please don't act like that. Don't try to tell me something or tell me about James or get crazy over us. Please don't. I know people are going to do it's going to happen in one way or another, but please don't, because we're just going to do the same thing. Either block you, report you, make it known to people what you are. I'm not going to do this yet. If it keeps getting that way, it will be known. And trust me, because I'm not that kind of person. I don't get cops involved. But Facebook knows, and I'll make sure the public knows what's going on. And for James too. That being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I love you guys. Tell us what you think in the comments. Let us know what you think. Any ideas, let us know, guys. We love you, and blessed be. There you go, James.
Okay, so I think what we're talking about is some of the struggles that we've had, some of the dangerous encounters we've had, some of the challenging parts of doing a show because of dangerous fans, stalkers, that kind of thing. I think that's what the topic is. First off, I guess I'll just say that I kind of have a different view on this than Old Boy does. It could be because I've been in the public eye for so long. You know, I've done a lot in my life. When I was younger, I was a musician, so that's how I made my living, by playing music on the weekends and stuff. I worked many different jobs in my life. When I was young, I worked on some projects for NASA back in the day. That's all I'll say about it. I've also had all kinds of regular jobs, you know, and what I always did after that was play music. That was my main thing I did, and I would do, like, factory jobs or restaurant jobs or something like that to kind of fill in the gaps, because you only gig really on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then for the rest of the week you ain't got nothing going on. You practice and everything, but I've always been a guy that likes to keep busy, so I would go and get jobs during the week, and then the weekend I would spend playing music. So I've been in the public eye most of my life, and then I ended up writing the novels, and they became bestsellers, and I was in the public eye for that. I would go and do signings and give speeches and stuff like that. So I've had a lot of time being in the public eye to kind of adjust and get used to what that means sometimes. And my view on it is that's kind of what you have to expect sometimes when you're in the public eye, because we make the decision, the choice to be public figures. Nobody asked us to do this show. Nobody asked us to do the TV show. Nobody asked us to, nobody asked me to write books and that kind of thing. It's something that we chose to do. And even though the reason I did what I did was not to be in the public eye, I don't give a damn about fame at all, not at all. For me, it's more of a creative outlet. I like to get my work out there, and I'm glad that people enjoy it. That makes me happy. Even if I never made a penny off any of my novels, I still would have written them and put them out because I enjoyed them. It was a lot of fun for me to do, and I really get a kick out of the fact that people love them. That's really awesome. You know, Same thing with this. This show, we don't make a ton of money doing any of this stuff. It's not done for profit. The channel's free. We're on the radio. You can listen to that for free. We don't charge anything for any of our stuff. We have a merch shop, but the merch shop, I keep the prices just over production costs. We're not making profit off any of the stuff. Like whatever it costs to make it, I just round up to the next dollar amount to be an even dollar amount, and that's what I charge. So if we make anything, it's less than $1 per item that we sell. I'm not doing that merch shop to make money off of it. I did it because I had many people that would message me and message Old Boy and ask for staring merch. They wanted shirts, they wanted, those kind of things. So I made the shop so that they can have them. It was one of those kind of deals. Just people kept asking us, so I made it so they could have that stuff if they wanted it. But I'm not looking to make money off of it. So for me, it was really a creative outlet kind of deal. Like I said, it's a way for me to do this stuff that's on my mind and get it out to the public so that people can enjoy it, because that's part of the experience for me, is creating something and then putting it out for all of you guys to read or to watch and to enjoy. Um, Old Boy talked about Art Bell. That was Art Bell was an influence on me as well. I used to listen to his stuff all the time. And I loved his shows. They were amazing, and I loved the subject matter that he covered. And I love the fact that no matter how outlandish something was, he never laughed at the people. He always let people tell their story and have their say. And he listened with an open mind. And I always thought that was really awesome. So for me, even this show is kind of a labor of love. It's something that I do because I enjoy it. I don't have to do this. And I'm not trying to sound, like I'm better than anybody or anything like that when I say that. But I literally do not have to do this. I don't have to do anything. I could just sit and relax. I'm good. I don't have to do any of it, as far as financially. But I enjoy doing this show every week. So that's why I do it. But what I was saying about a difference of opinion is that's kind of what you sign up for when you become a public figure. I've had a lot of experiences myself. 99.9% of them have been positive and wonderful. Yes, I've been kind of cornered before in a store and not be able to get out because there's been a lot of people that were there that wanted to take pictures with me and autographs and stuff like that. But the funny reality of that situation is literally only 4 or 5 of the original people that came up to me actually knew who the hell I was. They were fans. They had read the books and they loved them, and they wanted to talk to me and they wanted to take pictures with me and all that. And then people in the store saw that they were kind of fangirling over me and taking pictures with me and getting my autograph. So they thought he must be somebody important. So they wanted pictures and autographs just because they figured I was a celebrity. But probably if you asked them, they wouldn't have known who the hell I was. And then the store itself decided they wanted pictures with me and their staff and everything, and they put it up on their website, on Hot Topic. On their website, they had me and the staff up on the front of the web page there for a while. They thought it was a really cool thing. But I'm not delusional enough to think that all of those people mobbed me because they knew who I was. Most of them probably didn't. Yes, I was, a best-selling author, and yes, at the time, my first book, I Am Legion, was doing really, really well, and it was on the bestseller list, and people were really freaking out over it. So yes, I was doing a lot of press, and I was doing a lot of interviews and all that kind of stuff. So I guess you could say that I was a known public figure at that time. But there's a big difference between being book famous and being TV famous or movie famous, right? People that are in movies and stuff like that, they're much higher up on the celebrity list than an author is. Unless you're somebody like a Stephen King, and Stephen King may be the only one who is recognizable. There's a lot of authors out there that a lot of people love, but if you saw them on the street, you wouldn't recognize them because it's not about us. It's not about our face being on the book. It's about the characters we create, the world we create, and the story and the ride that we take you on. So people identify with your characters. They identify with your stories, and they love that stuff. But the majority of them, even if they love your books, they don't know what you look like. They're not going to come up to you because they don't know who you are. Stephen King being obviously the exception to that, simply because he puts himself in his own movies and people recognize it and they know who he is. But there are some, that are big fans that really love the stuff and they know who you are. And so, like that day in Hot Topic, that's what that was. That was some people that knew who I was because they had read my books and they loved my books. And my picture was on the back of my book. So they knew what I looked like from the picture. And they were some of the few that would actually take the time to look on the back to see the picture and give a damn who it was. But the rest of the people just saw an opportunity to take a picture with somebody famous, and that's all it was. But like I was saying, book famous is different. I don't consider myself some big celebrity or anything like that. I mean, some people do. I don't. I'm just a guy that has some very, 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 very bad dreams. And I have the God given gift to be able to capture those dreams and put them on the page so that when you read them, you experience the terror that I experience when I dream it. And that's what it is. So my point is that I've had a lot more time in the public eye. And I've had a lot of experiences, but 99.9% of them are positive. Yes, you do get some bad ones. Like old boy mentioned, I had a guy show up at my house. I've had people that have not really been very happy with some things I've said and have approached me pretty pissed off about whatever it is I said on whatever show I was on. Because sometimes I say things that ruffle some feathers because, like I promised you from the very first episode of this show, I'm always going to tell you the truth. Whether you like it or you don't like it, you're going to get the truth as I see it. And that's my promise to you. And that's what I will always do. And the sad thing is when you tell the truth, some people get pissed, but it is what it is. I've had death threats. I've had people, write me and message me and stuff and say they're going to do all kinds of horrible things to me. But, it is what it is. The majority of those people are idiots. They're not going to do anything. They're weak little punks who are tough when they're typing on a keyboard, but in real life, they're not so tough. I don't sweat it too much. You're going to have that kind of stuff. And a portion of that is just plain old cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, man. They're mental. And then a portion of that also is is jealousy. It's people that are in the same field you're in, but because you have been successful and they have not, they feel somehow they've been cheated, and that that gives them the right to harass or to threaten you or try to destroy you and all that kind of stuff. And it's just jealousy, you know. And the sad thing is that a lot of you could succeed if you spent the energy that you spend trying to destroy other people actually working on it and doing something. Then you could be successful as well. If you've got that itch, man, if you've got that desire in your heart to do something, that's God. He put that there for you to let you know that that's already yours. All you got to do is claim it. That desire, man, if it's for something good and positive, that you want to do with your life, and you got that feeling like you really want to do this and you can do it and you feel called to do it, God put that there and He's letting you know it's there for you. Just get it. Reach out and grab it. Stay positive. Get off your ass. Stop whining and complaining and work for it. It's that simple. Every single day when you get up out of bed, you ought to have a plan of what you're going to do that day. You have to set goals. You have to say, okay, I want to be at this point by this time, and work towards it and work your butt off and stay positive. Don't turn to the dark side and start running down this guy or running down that guy because he's doing better than you. You just keep your blinders on. Keep your nose to the grindstone. You keep doing you. Do your thing. And people will find it and they will like it. You don't have to run other people down to build yourself up. And unfortunately, that's way too common in the paranormal field, especially now. Because what happened with the paranormal field is it was primarily made up of researchers, of people that were researchers or were investigators. And they would go out and they would try to help people. And the other side of it, the researcher side, would go out and try to get answers and try to figure out what these things were and do different experiments to see what worked with this and what worked with that, And it was science. It was outside of the realm of normal science because normal science kind of laughs at it, but it was science nonetheless. We were trying to get answers and we're trying to find out exactly what we're dealing with on the other side and get those answers for everybody, and to help people that are being attacked. And then they started filming this stuff. When everybody got access to cameras and all that kind of stuff, it became a lot easier for everybody to start filming. So then you started getting clips that would come into different shows, and then when YouTube happened and, now you got Rumble and you got TikTok and you got Facebook and Instagram, you got all these places you can put videos. So everybody said, well, I can do my own show now, and it started to get more and more popular. And then all these networks started running actual ghost shows, now granted, 99.9% of all those ghost shows are BS. I mean, I'm not saying that none of those people have any experience because most of them do. But what happens is you have a real team that is out there doing it. And the network comes up to them and says, hey, we want you to do a show. Would you like to do a show on our network? And of course, those people are like, that'd be awesome, man. Have a TV show, man. Who doesn't want to be famous, right? That's what they're thinking. So then they say yes. And then they get in there and they start filming and they think they're going to be doing what they do. But then the producers will start saying, hey, we need to spice this up a little bit because nothing's really going on. We don't have a whole lot of stuff. So what we want to do is we want to set the shot up like this. And then we want to take this little ball and we're going to roll it across the floor. And the guy is going to be off camera, off frame, and he's just going to roll the ball. So it'll kind of just roll across the frame there, and you react to it as if it happened. You react to it as if, oh my God, what is that? Right? So then they end up going along with that kind of stuff. And it's happened many, many times. It's been caught on film, actually, happening. They've filmed episodes of certain shows, and you can literally see the person off camera, their arm as it comes in and rolls the ball, and then they pretend, oh my God, look at that, right? It's proven, it's happened. So that happens to a lot of them, where they have to kind of spice things up. They have to act a lot. They have to pretend that more is going on than is actually going on. They have to pretend that they are a lot more frightened than they actually are frightened. Because the reality of the situation is that the majority of these cases are pretty damn boring most of the time. Now, you will have some activity that happens, but even like we've got episodes up on here on the YouTube channel where we go in and we work a case, and they've been extremely active cases, some of them, where you have almost non-stop answers on the spirit box over and over and over again, right? But even on those cases where it's a ton of activity, it's not actually that frightening. It's just a voice coming from a box. Big deal. I've worked a lot of demonic cases, a lot of them. We've done exorcisms, we've cast things out, we've sealed homes, we've blessed homes, we've done all kinds of stuff. And even on those cases, the majority of the time, it's not all that exciting. The only way you're actually going to make that scary for the audience watching at home is if you make it really dark, you cut out a lot of the stuff that's not so scary, and you emphasize the stuff that could be, and then you overplay music into it, spooky music over top, and then you have the person doing the investigation react as if they're frightened as hell. When you put all of those components together, the person at home's like, oh my God, but it's all BS. Even if it's real stuff that's happening, it's over dramatized and it's made to look like some scary encounter that's really not scary, and that's the truth of it. But what ends up happening is people watch these shows and they think, oh, that's amazing. I want to do that. I want to be that guy. So then everybody starts forming teams and they start going out there and pretending that they're doing what they're doing, right? They're LARPing. That's all they're doing. Live action role play. That's all this is. It's a bunch of people who have absolutely no idea what the hell they're doing. And they are pretending that they're the ghost people on TV. So then they're going into places pretending like they know what the hell they're doing because they saw a TV show. And when in reality, they don't know what the hell they're doing because that TV show is not really doing what we actually do. So then they go in there and they put themselves in danger. It's the truth. They end up with attachments. They end up in a bad place. Okay? All because they watched a TV show that's meant for entertainment and they thought it was real. And they went and they tried to emulate and copy what those people did. And even worse than that, they will begin taking cases pretending like they're experts in something. So then they'll be working with the public, going into people's homes that are having actual problems, pretending like they know what they're talking about, and they just make things worse. And people end up getting hurt. All because you got some wannabe out there LARPing with no training, doesn't know what the hell they're doing because of a TV show. You get that a lot. We've cleaned up those messes a lot. And the thing is, when you go on these cases, it's not always a demon. It's not always a ghost. It's not always any paranormal activity at all. Sometimes it's nothing. Sometimes it's that they have a door cracked downstairs and a window open on the other side. So there's a draft that goes through the house and it causes the door to move and squeak. Stuff like that. There's also cases that people think is demonic activity that is actually just mental issues. People have mental problems. And when an actual investigator knows what they're doing goes in there, they can kind of root that out and get those people the help that they need. Not play into their delusion because, oh, they said it's a demon, so it must be a demon. I saw this on Ghost Adventures or whatever, so I'm going to act this way. I'm going to go out there and yell at the demon and make it go away. It's retarded, man. It's ridiculous. And then those people, if it is a demon, they don't know what the hell to do about it. So all they do is piss it off, and it makes things worse because then they end up with an attachment too. If it's not a demon, if it's just mental illness, you haven't helped that person. All you've done is convince them that their mental illness is real, that their delusion is real. And they're in a worse state after you leave than they were before you came. That's not any good either. But that's what you get. So the majority of these people that are in the paranormal now, that aren't the old school people that haven't been doing it for a long, long time, they're mostly wannabes who have no real training. They don't know what they're doing. So when you have people like that, the only reason they're doing it is because they saw it on TV. They want to be that person that they saw on TV, and they think they're going to get a show. So they're going to go out there and act like big shots and try to get a show. And anybody else that's doing well or doing anything important, they're going to crap all over that person. They're going to talk bad about them. They're going to start rumors. They're going to harass the hell out of them. They're going to do all kinds of stuff to try to destroy that person so that they don't get ahead, so that they can. You see what I'm saying? It's scummy behavior. But that's what happens. Now, I can say that to you because I always tell you the truth. And because I don't give a damn. If I ever get a TV show, I don't care. Old boy says a lot that, we've got stuff in the works and stuff like that. And he's not lying. We've been approached. I'll tell you about a couple of them if you want to hear it. I mean, I got nothing to hide, man. I don't lie to you guys. I was approached by one person who wanted us to do a show. But what they wanted was, because I'm a pastor, a Christian pastor, and old boy is a pagan Satanist, they wanted us to do this. They wanted us to fight. That was the whole concept of the show. That we were going to be going to haunted locations and we were going to be arguing and fighting back and forth with each other. They would dress it up with some kind of storyline or something like that. But essentially, they were going to put us in a scary location, pumping scary music, and it was going to be like some bad reality show where we would fight each other all the time. That was the concept. Now, as you can understand, I told them to go to hell. There's no way in hell I'm doing that. The reason I'm not doing that is because we don't fight. Me and old boy don't argue and fight with each other. We are vastly different people. Vastly different. But I love that guy. I got no issues with him. His decision of what he believes is his decision. He's got to square that up with himself and with God. That's not my place. My place is to love him and to witness to him, to try to sow those seeds. And I have many, many times, and I always will. I've talked to old boy about God more times than you can count. And I promise you, I'm going to keep talking to old boy about God over and over and over again. Because I love that man, and I don't want him to burn. But I'm not going to hate on him. I'm not going to argue with him and fight with him. And I'm sure as hell not going to go on a TV show in public and pretend like I think he's a despicable piece of crap and fight with him. I'm not doing it. I don't give a damn how much money they want to give me. There's not enough money in the world to make me do that. Stuff like that, I'm not doing. I'm sorry. I'm not going to do it. Another person had talked to me about doing a show, but I asked one simple question, and I could not get a satisfactory answer. And that question was this. I asked, do I have y'all's guarantee that we will never have to fake or pretend that anything's happening that's not happening? That's what I asked. I didn't ask about money. I didn't try to negotiate a better contract. I didn't try to negotiate a trailer or negotiate this, that, or the other thing for myself or for old boy. I asked a simple question. Can I have your guarantee that this is going to be on the up and up? That we're not going to have to fake and we're not going to have to lie and pretend. That's it. You let us do what we do. Send us anywhere you want. I will go to any spot on the planet. I'm not afraid of anything. I am a soldier of God. I battle demons. That's what I do. They do not scare me because I am protected by the Most High. That is what I'm called to do, is to help people. So I don't care where you send me. No place is scary enough to run me off. I'm a mountain man. I'm a survival guy. You can put me anywhere on the planet and I can survive. So there's no reason for me to run out of any place. But what I will not do is look into that camera and lie. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to pretend like I hate my friend. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to pretend like my brother is a scumbag when he's not. I don't care. I don't care how much money you got. You could offer me $100 million. You could offer me $1 billion. I'm not doing it because I don't care about money. I don't care about money. I don't care about fame. Doesn't mean anything to me at all. I do what I do because I enjoy it. I've got plenty. I've got everything I need. I'm not a person that spends a lot of cash on stuff. I don't need a whole lot. You know, I lived most of my life poor. You know, I grew up poor, man. My dad was in the military. My mom worked jobs when she could to try to help out. You know, she eventually went to college, you know, because dad was in the military, and she was able to get some classes underneath her belt and get some better jobs as time went on. But for the majority of my life, we didn't have any money. You know, and when I was out on my own, I didn't have any money for a long time. You know, I because by that point we didn't have any money as a family yet. You know, so I didn't have barely nothing. And there was a lot of times growing up that if I didn't go hunt and fish, I didn't eat. That's how I ate. You know, that's how I fed myself and my family is through hunting and fishing. You know, and growing a garden. If I didn't do those things, there wasn't going to be enough food on the table. And that's just the truth. Because after paying the rent and paying the bills, there wasn't nothing left. You know, and I was working my tail off. And that's just the way it is. And I still live that same basic life, you know. Yes, now my freezers are full. I don't have to worry about food. You know, I got plenty of that. But I don't have to, you know, go out and buy a boat or buy a plane or you know, spend a ton of money on a ton of different things in order to feel like I'm somebody. You know, I grew up with nothing and I'm fine like that. I mean, shoot, I just wear camo and t-shirts and stuff like that. I still got a lot of the same clothes that I've worn for a decade or more. You know, hell, I don't even own a suit. Now, I take that back. I own one suit because it's the one I took a picture for a book in. For one of the covers of my books, I had a suit on. I bought that. Uh, but that's the only suit I own, and I haven't worn it since. Be honest with you, it's in a plastic bag hanging up in the closet. Hell, I ain't put that on since the day I took those pictures. You know, I dress like this. I'm very, very happy. You know, I get up, I have my coffee. Yeah, I turn on my Xbox. I play a little farming simulator. I love that game. That's a hell of a lot of fun. And I sit there and I chat with my beautiful wife while I'm drinking my coffee. Once my coffee's done, then I, you know, get up, go get lunch and everything for everybody, and then I go outside for a while. You know, I'll go out and I plant, you know, in the garden, and I clear brush and I mow and you know, use the wood chipper and make a bunch of wood chips to put down and you know, work on my orchard. I got a whole food forest that I planted. I got all kinds of cool fruit trees and all this stuff. And that's what I work on, you know, during the afternoon, evening. And then I come in. I sit and have dinner with my wife, and I watch, you know, whatever she wants to watch, some kind of movie or TV show usually, or something like that, and hang out. She falls asleep, and then I'll work a little bit, on the computer, at night after she's conked out. Then I go to bed, wake up, do the same thing all over again. Pretty simple, and I'm very, very happy that way. So I don't need a whole lot. I don't give a damn about money or fame or any of that stuff. What does it matter to me? You know? So you could offer me whatever you want to offer me to do, a show, but if it's not something I want to do and if it's not something that's going to be honest, what do I need it for? What, just more money to throw in the bank account that I'm not going to ever touch? What the hell do I care? It ain't going to do me no good. I've got what I need. I'm fine. I don't chase other people like that. A lot of people, their neighbor gets a new car or something like that, and now I got to get a new car because the Joneses down there, they got a new car, and I can't let them be better than me. Or Frank over there got a new lawn. Look at it. Look at his lawn. Look how pretty that grass is. Man, I can't. My grass looks all patchy and crappy. I can't deal with that. I got to go out and buy all this sod so that I can put down a new lawn so that it looks good too. So look at me. I got a good lawn too. I don't care about any of that. First of all, I ain't got neighbors. I live up in the mountain. There ain't nobody around here. I can go outside on my front porch and pee off it if I want to. Nobody can see me. I ain't got nobody around. Second of all, I don't want a lawn at all. I actively try to destroy any lawn that I have. And I have a lot of land. I got like 30 acres, so there's a lot of grass. And I'm always out there planting trees, planting little flower beds, planting gardens, trying to use up all that available space to grow vegetables and fruit. I think lawns are a tremendous waste of space. You could be utilizing that space to grow so much very healthy food for you and your family. It's funny that people go out and pay all this money for organic fruits and vegetables when they could grow them on their lawn, but they don't. They'd rather have grass. And then they spend all this money dumping all this poison on the grass to kill off the dandelions, which is the most nutritious thing on the damn lawn. Dandelions are like a superfood. Every part of that thing is edible. It's got anti-cancer properties. It's so good for you, man. It's one of the healthiest things you can eat. You can eat the flower, you can eat the stem, you can eat the leaves, you can eat the root. All of it's edible. Now, all of it has very different tastes, but it's all edible, and it's very, very good for you. And people spend tons of money trying to kill it. When in reality, what you ought to be doing is picking them things up when they go to seed, when they got that white poofy, blow it all over your lawn, spread it. Get as much dandelion as you can on your lawn because that stuff is gold. That stuff is gold. You make dandelion wine. You can take the roots and make coffee out of it. Well, coffee substitute, but I use it for tea. You can take the flowers and the root, make tea out of it. You can put the greens into salads. You could cook them up. One really awesome thing to do is you take the flower off the dandelion and you put that in some batter and you fry them. And they're like little bitty fried, delicious yummies. So good. That kind of stuff, man. That's what makes me happy. I don't give a damn about fame. I don't care about money. I don't care about any of that stuff. I don't give a damn about what this person said about me or what that person said about me. I don't give a damn. I'm very happy. I'm very happy. But my advice to old boy would simply be, it's going to happen, bro. You're going to get this kind of stuff. It just goes with the territory. Whenever you're in the public eye and you're doing well, there are going to be people that are going to hate you for it, and they're going to attack you. And that's just the truth, man. So my suggestion is just kind of don't sweat the small stuff, roll with the punches, and, get used to it because it ain't going to stop. It's going to get worse and worse and worse. The bigger you get, the more people try to attack you, but the secret is you don't let it bother you. People attack me all the time. I just don't care. I just don't respond, so they just stop because they realize that I'm not going to give them what they want. I'm not going to get all crazy about it and go off and tell everybody about it. I'm just going to go on with my life. And they can just continue to be mad because I'm not mad. I love them anyway. Even if they hate me, I don't care. They're still my brothers and sisters. I still love them. Doesn't matter to me if they're mad. They can be mad as much as they want. Who cares? Why let that ruin your life? Why let that take up space in your brain, and bug you when it doesn't have to? You're in control of your own emotions and your own thought processes. So anytime you let anybody bother you, that's on you, you know. And like I was saying earlier, it's sad to me because these people could be successful if they wanted to, but they go the wrong way. Instead of being negative and attacking people, what you ought to be doing is just working. Just keep working on your stuff, man. If you're putting out something that's interesting and people want to listen to, then they're going to tune in, you know. Now you have other factors, sometimes on some of these more left-leaning platforms like YouTube, if you say things that go against the narrative that they're trying to spread at the time, then they will suppress you. You'll get things like shadow banning happens and stuff like that's happened to us, to where they've cut our stuff on YouTube way, way down. It used to be way better than it is now, you know. And you can't tell me that it will go from getting a couple thousand views the first day to getting 10 views the first day. Like that's going to happen without there being anything that goes wrong. Sure. Sure. Just one day, 99% of the viewers decided they weren't going to watch anymore, right? Yeah, sure. And, we just lost like 1,000 subscribers like that. Not like over time, but literally looking at it, then 1,000 were gone. And then I got people messaging me saying, hey, man, I just noticed that I'm not subscribed to your channel anymore. What happened? Did you guys like block us or something? Is that something you can do on YouTube? I didn't know you could even do that. Did you unsubscribe me from your channel? And I said, I don't know what you're talking about, man. I didn't do anything. So if you're unsubscribed, the only thing I can say is subscribe again. Make sure that you're still subscribed. Hit the little notification bell thingy so that you definitely see when we put stuff out. But that's what shadow banning is. They suppress it. They don't make it available unless you actually search it by name, and they'll actually knock subscribers right off of your channel. They'll unsubscribe people from you. It's terrible, but they do it. But the secret to beating that is just be on a lot of different platforms. You can't control what those idiots do. So the only thing you can really control is what you do. So when we do the show, our main headquarters is the radio. That's what the show is for. I film it when we do it so that I can put it on YouTube. And it also goes on Spotify and it goes on Rumble and a couple other places. So it's out there. So even if YouTube suppresses us, there's still plenty of people that listen on Spotify. There's still plenty of people that listen, on the radio. There's a lot more on the radio. There's a lot of people who listen there. But, it is what it is, man. But even if nobody listened, I don't care. I'm going to do what I'm going to do because I enjoy doing it. I'm not intentionally trying to piss people off or offend anybody. If you're somebody listening to this show, thank you. I really appreciate you guys, man. You're awesome. I got nothing but love for you. Please don't misunderstand when I say I don't care. That I don't mean that I don't care if you listen. Like I'm somehow above you. It's not that. It's just I'm not doing it for money or fame. I'm doing it because I enjoy it. And I'm going to talk about things that are interesting to me. If you guys have things you want me to talk about, then by all means, leave some comments. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to do, shows that are interesting to you too, because I'm interested in a whole lot of stuff. So it'd be very easy for our interests to kind of match up and for some cool shows to come out of it. So I definitely want your input. I'm not saying I don't care about you. I'm just saying that I'm not doing this for fame. I'm not doing it for money. So I don't care if I have a gigantic audience or not, on any one platform, because I have a lot of people on a lot of platforms, if that makes sense. But anyway, my point is, the old boy is just, it's cool, man. Don't worry about it. You'll get used to it. They'll reach a point to where you won't even care anymore. It'll just be like duck off water's back, man. You'll say whatever, no big deal. And like old boy brought up that situation of that woman that was lying, that we did a show with a long, long time ago, and he refused to do the show. That's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. That was back when I first started doing this show. And I was in a situation where it was like the day of the show that we were getting ready to do it. And old boy messaged me and said, "Hey, man, I just found out this chick is lying. I'm not doing the show." And I'm like, "Hey, wait a minute, man. We can't just not do a show. I mean, we're supposed to have the show on. Everybody's waiting for it. They're expecting it. We can't just not do it. I understand you just found out she's lying about it, but we'll still do it. We don't have to agree with her or say that we believe her, but at least let her have her say, and we'll do the show. But he felt differently, so he didn't do it. But the reason I did it was because I'd already given my word that I was doing it. So I can't just cancel the show right before the show and just say, "I'm sorry. I know that we promised you a show and everybody's waiting to hear it, but we're not doing it because it fell through." That's not the way I work. If the show falls through, I'm still going to give you a show. Now, that was then. Now it's a little bit different. Now I don't really want to do a show without old boy because he's on the show with me. So like some weeks he won't be able to do it because he's not feeling well or something, and then we kind of take the week off. But in all reality, I could go on and do a show anyway if I really wanted to. I can fill an hour by myself easily. Hell, I used to do 3 hours a day, so I can easily do one. That's not an issue at all. So I could do a show, but it would be me doing a show without old boy, and he would probably not be too happy about that. So, I don't want to ruffle no feathers. I don't want to piss him off or make him feel unloved or unwanted. So it is what it is. But my advice, man, just don't worry about it. Don't let it bother you. It is what it is. My wife hates it when I say that. When I say it is what it is, she says, "I hate that saying. That's the worst saying." But it's a true statement. I mean, it is what it is. What are you going to do? By saying it is what it is, you're just saying that stuff's going to happen and there's nothing you can do to change it. So why let it bother you? All right. So anyway, I've rambled and rambled and I've talked about all kinds. I've talked about dandelions. Y'all don't give a damn about dandelions, do you? I care about dandelions. I think dandelions are freaking fantastic. Maybe one of these days I'll do an episode of Staring, really freak everybody out, because this is mainly a paranormal show. We are on a paranormal radio network, so people will expect a paranormal show. But one week I did one on vermicomposting, worm farming, and that was a trip. I really got a kick out of that because that's something I'm really interested in and I really enjoy. But it's not paranormal in any way. And sometimes, every once in a while, we'll do a show like that and really shake things up and leave everybody kind of going, "What in the hell are these idiots talking about?" I don't know. It's fun to me. I enjoy it, man. Ain't nothing wrong with worms. Worms are pretty amazing. Let me know down in the comment section if you like worms. I'll do the YouTube thing. This is what all the YouTubers do. "Hey, man, comment down in the comment section if you like worms. Smash that like button." Right? I always see them do that stuff. I don't care if you smash the like button. Go ahead if you want. That's cool. Smash the hell out of it. I don't care. It's woo, 2 thumbs up, right? If you like the show, do it. That's fine with me. Let me know you like it. But you don't have to. You don't have to buy merch. You don't have to do anything. If you think the show is good and you enjoyed it, share it with your friends just so they can enjoy it. But if you don't want to, you ain't got to because you don't work for me. That's that's the bottom line. And that's kind of what I always want to say when I watch these YouTube videos. These people are just pressuring the hell out of you every single time. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share it with your friends. You all like pork? Comment down in the comment section if you like pork. Just all kinds of nutso stuff like that. Just trying, because if you comment, then YouTube's algorithm thinks that people are engaged with the video and they promote it. If you hit the like button, then YouTube's algorithm says, hey, a lot of people like this. Let's promote it. And then it gets put on the main suggestion page of YouTube, and then you get a hell of a lot more views. That's the game. It's all about views. They don't care whether what they're giving you is actually good. They don't care whether they actually have any real information to give you. The majority of the time, it's just people talking shit that don't know anything. That's really what it is. But you smash that like button and you comment down in the comments and you share with your friends. Woo! There it goes, man. The algorithm picks it up, punts it away, and then they get a million views and they make a little bit of money. So do whatever you want. I don't care. Hit the like button. Share the video. Comment down. Look at that. That's a weird looking thing. It looked like I got a wing. Special effects are strange, man. I got like a green screen and a computer and the whole nine. And now, I am a redneck. I'm a high-tech redneck, but a redneck nonetheless. So shit like this still makes me laugh. That's ridiculous. Old boy had the little Bigfoot in his beard, and I got like a bat wing. It's a crazy episode. I don't know what the hell we're talking about. I think I've been talking too long. I love you guys. I'm going to throw it back over to old boy, let him wrap this puppy up, and then I'll be back, and we'll get out of here. Oh boy. Go ahead, brother.
I hope you guys enjoyed the show. It was different. Like always, we try to keep everything different. That being said, always check us out on Parax Radio every Sunday nights, 12 a.m. Eastern, 9 Pacific. The Best of Show, Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific. Check us out on Spotify, YouTube, I think iCloud, all kinds of different places. TikTok. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever. I think we might even be on Twitch now. I don't know yet. That's one thing I haven't made a Twitch yet. I think we will. You guys want merchandise, hats, shirts, all kinds of cool stuff. There is a chance that we might be on TV, guys, and this is what this show is about, and some other stuff that's going on in our life. There is a very big possibility, sooner than later. It's middle of May. I hope you guys are having a good spring. It's starting to get warm here now, finally. That being said, have a good night, Misfits, Sugarlays, Monster Livers, and Demon Hunters. I love you, and blessed be, motherfuckers. Good night.
Thank you, brother. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Hope you learned something. If there was anything to learn on this one. We didn't really do anything on this episode. We just kind of talked, There wasn't a whole lot of information to be learned or to be gained, really. Just kind of a chat session. A chat session with staring into the abyss. What do you think? That'd be a good title? Yeah, that kind of sucks. I don't know what I'm going to call this one. This is going to be a hard one to title because there's no real subject matter here. I don't know. I love you guys. I'm going to go eat something. Hang out with my wife before she goes to bed. She's probably already in bed. So if she's already in bed, I'll just get to editing, I reckon. So I'll catch you on the next one. Till I speak to you again. Love many, trust few, and do harm to none. God loves you, and so do we. Bye-bye.